Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from AnthonysCustoms, and for this review we are looking at the NECA Alien vs. Predator Elder Predator, which is a really cool looking figure, and I have to say I'm pretty pleased with it, though there are a couple of issues, so you're going to want to stick around to see what those are, but ultimately it's a Predator with a cape and a really cool head, so you can't really go wrong with that. If you're collecting this line, you pretty much know what to expect by now, but there always are a few little intricacies. I can never say that word. That warrant a review. So that's what we're going to do. So let's go ahead and get him off the stand and take a closer look. The first thing to talk about is the height. That's always the best way to start. So we are at just about 22.5 centimeters, which makes him just about almost 9 inches. He's got a little extra height on him. I'm guessing that's from the head, but maybe they did it somewhere else in there. They snuck it in there, but he's got a little extra height, so that's pretty cool, and it suits him because he's obviously got the cape and the really cool looking head. So let's talk about the cape first, because it's both awesome and not awesome. One of the things that I really love about it is the way they stitched it together so that it hangs. You have this extra material in the middle here, which you want to tuck in, and that allows the cape to hang with the proper ruffles and things in there, and it's all folded up here due to how it's made, so that's awesome. They made it out of, I'm guessing this is spandex. It looks like spandex, and it doesn't fray or anything, so I'm thinking it's at least partly spandex, so that's pretty cool. And then here's the problem. Actually, there's two. The first problem is that it gets really messed up in the packaging, and you end up with a big crease around here. It would have been better to not have that. And then the other problem is just the way it connects to the clasps. It's really bulky and funny looking, so it's not ideal. It's very hard to set on his shoulders properly just because it gets so thick. I think it would have been ideal if they kind of cheated and took away some of the material before bunching it up and then connected it to the clasps, just so it was a little less bulky and a little bit more practical. But those are both small issues, I think. It depends if you want to look past them or not. For me, I can because it's really cool looking in general, but it doesn't really want to sit properly up here because of how it's connected. So it could definitely be a more serious issue depending on how you want to look at it. So the cape is really cool. And then we have a really nice head. I love this guy's head sculpt and the paint job on it. It's basically perfect. So you have the eyes painted in there very nicely, even though they're recessed. And then we have the really great paint job throughout. He's got a little bit of that extra white on there around his eyebrows, and then you can see the scar up there on his head. So that's awesome. We also have the shaded dreads, which I guess that's because he's supposed to be older. Maybe they turn gray like a regular person. I don't know, but it looks really nice, and it's a nice addition. So let's go ahead and move on, and let's talk about accessories. We do have his mask, which fits on his head, though I do wish it fit a little bit better. It does look really nice, and it's got a nice paint job inside and out. So that's okay. I just think I don't know. It doesn't seem to want to fit quite right, or maybe that's how it's supposed to be. But either way, I would never use it because I really like the unmasked head. And then we have his really cool spear, which has the opened up prongs and little extra beads and things on there. So that's a really cool accessory. But that's all he gets. I guess the cape and the head make up for the rest, so that's it. You're probably wondering if you can remove the cape. It looks like you can. I don't see why you wouldn't be able to. You just have to pop the head off or just move all those dreads out of the way and you can do it. He also has this, I forgot to mention. It's not really an accessory because it's put on him in the package, but he has extra skulls and things on his necklace. There's a full-size human skull, and we have some vertebrae back here and just more stuff going on. So that's pretty cool. It's a nice addition. I like that they did that. The rest of the figure is basically everything we've seen before. We do have this guy over here, which is unpainted. No markings in there, so it's just solid black. And then we do have his two little claws, which don't come out or anything. Those are just the way they're supposed to be. So you can count those as accessories if you want to. I tend to not if they... I don't know. I guess they are. It's up to you. I would never not have them on there, though. But again, your call. All right, so articulation-wise, the head can rotate no problem at all. It can look up and down a little bit, can look side to side. I mean, lean side to side just a little bit, but most of it's going to just be rotation. We do have shoulder pads on both sides, so be careful when posing the shoulders. They don't really want to go that far out to the side. Hopefully they can work on that and we can get a little bit better range, but it's probably good enough, but it's not great. Full rotation though, so that's good. Bicep swivels fine. Double jointed elbows, no problem. We have our swivel at the gauntlet and of course our ball peg at the hands. Diaphragm joint, let's see how it works on this guy. His is pretty stiff. It doesn't really want to move too much. You can get some out of it, but a hairdryer will be necessary to get any more. It is connected in the back, so be careful while you're posing it. Same thing, true for down here. You're going to get your swivel down here, but with that back piece connected, you're pretty limited. For the hips, you should be able to get them out pretty far, all the way out to the side, no problem. Not that he's going to need to be in that pose, but you can do it if you want to. Bring the legs all the way forward. They are loose still, going forward and back. Not such that he won't stand up, but it is something to be aware of. We have our thigh swivels in there, which work just fine. Double jointed knees, no problem at all. They work really nicely. We have our swivel in the top joint of the knee, if you need that. And then we have our ball peg ankle, which we've seen this mold before. It works okay. It's not bad, but it's definitely not as good as it could be, but it will get the job done. So ultimately, you're going to be buying this Predator if you want a big cape, if you want a fancy spear, or if you want a fancy unmasked head sculpt, which I think that's enough reason to buy it. It's not bad otherwise. It's okay. He's mostly probably just going to stand there holding his spear on your shelf, but he looks really good, so I'm going to say I recommend it. Just be aware that you're not getting a whole lot of figure here. You're just getting a cape and a really awesome head sculpt. But realistically speaking, if you're going to compare it to the price point and other figures at that price point, even though he reuses a lot of the same parts, he's still pretty fantastic. So I would say go ahead and pick him up. He's available at Big Bed Toy Store, so check out the link in the description below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I have new videos up every single day. We talk about action figures, movies, TV shows, video games, all kinds of fun stuff. So make sure you turn on notifications so you don't miss any of that. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. And in the meantime, keep collecting.